And the anticipation continues to grow for this amazing turkey we're about to cook. And when we talk about simplifying this process, and I use that a lot because I want to teach you how to make it easier on yourself. Using a chimney starter is one of those ways. It lights fuel extremely quickly. So instead of you wasting 20, 30, 40 minutes trying to get your briquettes nice and ashed over, it'll do that much faster in about 10 to 15. The key to using a chimney starter is using the correct amount. Now this is a standard 22.5-inch kettle. I know that we're gonna be using about 50 to 60 briquettes, 25 to 30 per side from the beginning, which is gonna be probably about 3/4 of the way full if you're using a traditional Weber briquette. Now, if you're using a regular briquette, you're gonna go to about 3/4, give or take, because the Weber briquettes are gonna be a little bit thicker. The advantage to using a better premium briquette is gonna be the consistency of temperature, right? These are going to hold temperature much longer. We're gonna be more consistent, which again makes your job with cooking your turkey that much easier. All right, so you can see here we're about 3/4 full. Now we're gonna use lighter cubes, and this is another great tool to have. And the reason why is I don't like lighter fluid, I don't like any type of accelerant, because unless you burn that completely off when you're starting your charcoal, it's gonna get on your food. And we don't wanna have any kind of off flavors on that turkey. We want the best possible grilled turkey you're gonna get. So I'm gonna use these lighter cubes, I'm gonna light those. So we've got our lighter cubes going. What I want to tell you is make sure two things. One, you start the charcoal from the charcoal grate, not on the cooking grate. And also make sure when you light your lighter cubes, you move the handle off to the side, and our charcoal will be ready in about 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll put it inside of our baskets, get our grill set up, and it'll be close to turkey time. All right, it's time to get our charcoal inside of our grill. And one thing I want to point out for people is what is the best time? How do I know when my charcoal is ready to get poured into my grill? And you can tell when it's completely ashed over. That's the perfect time for you to pour it inside of your grill. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab both handles, which gives you control of where you're gonna pour your charcoal. So we're gonna go half on one side, we're gonna go half on the other. So now we've got our charcoal separated. And let's talk a little bit about direct heat and indirect heat and when we use those. So anything that's cooked under 20 minutes, we're gonna move the baskets together, which is again a reason why I love to use charcoal baskets. It makes setting up your grill so much easier. But today we're gonna be using indirect heat. So we're gonna slide the baskets completely apart. We're then gonna use drip pans. And I highly recommend using 2 or 3. And the reason why, it provides you a little more stability when you're gonna be taking it off the grill. This will help collect your grease. It'll also help collect some of that nice flavor that you can use inside of your gravies. The key here is this. We're gonna put it right down the middle. We're gonna make sure it fits nice and flat inside of our kettle. Now, I'm a big fan of using moisture inside of your grill. It helps with flavor, it helps with smoke coming out of your proteins. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill this about 1/4 of an inch. And the reason why I'm using 1/4 is because I wanna use some of that drippings for my gravy. Now, if you're not gonna use any for your gravy, you can fill this about 1/2 to 3/4. Part of the reason why I don't wanna overfill it with water is because I'm gonna dilute all that great smoky flavor coming off the turkey, and I need that inside of my gravy. So we've got our drip tray set up. Now, one of the last steps, our Hinge cooking grate. We wanna make sure that we're taking the Hinge portion of the grate and putting it over the charcoal baskets. This is gonna make it so much easier when we go to add our charcoal throughout the process. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna put our lid on, we're gonna open up our damper, and we're gonna preheat our grill for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now this is the most important step in anything you cook. It brings the grill up to temperature, it helps get the grates nice and warm, it's gonna help cook the turkey a little bit faster and a little bit more efficient. So we'll set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes and it'll be just about turkey time. Let's talk about smoking on your Kettle grill. And we use smoke as a flavor, an ingredient in that process. We don't want to over smoke the turkey where you're still kind of burping it up after an hour or two. That would be over smoking. We don't want that. We want a nice, subtle flavor. And we're going to teach you exactly how to do that. First, let's take a look at our wood chunks. And we want to use these on a kettle. We want to make sure we're getting the same uniform size. We don't want large on one side, small on another. Try to find the same uniform pieces. Those will go directly on top of our charcoal. Now you can use wood chips if you'd like. The issue you're going to have with wood chips is they can flash extremely quickly and give an overpowering smoke flavor to your turkey. And we don't want that to happen. One way to work around that, soak it in water, soak it in your favorite beer or wine. That way it keeps that level down, doesn't ignite, smolders, and gives you some great flavor. But we recommend using the wood chunks when you're doing it on your charcoal grill. So what we'll do is we'll take our wood and we're going to place that directly on our charcoal. And we want to do this rather quickly. We want to make sure that we're getting our charcoal grate on. The hinges are over the top of our charcoal baskets. We'll get our lid on, our damper open, we'll preheat, and let's talk about cooking time.